downstairs. I'm not sure the sound will be great because I'm outside right now, so maybe there will be a lot of noise. I just wanted to test how that looks like. I always say that, right? It's a test. Yes, I wanted to talk about personal development, since that's what my channel is about and my business is about. And I wanted to focus on personal strength. I have to pay attention on where I put my feet. I don't know if you can see this, but check out the clouds. I think it's pretty cool. I think it might start to storm today. It did yesterday. It's cool because it's not happening yet. It might be not so cool if it's happening right now. Anyways, I wanted to address personal strength, personal power. I think that's, really important because a lot of times, and it doesn't really matter what topic you're talking about or in which context, people tend to think that, we're not the experts, somebody else is an expert. And I think because we do that a lot, I think it's not really good for our self-esteem. I think a lot of times we already know a lot of things about life. What we need to do is examine our own experiences, which will be different for everybody. I mean, I think that's the beauty of human beings. But in our experiences are the treasures of personal strength. Perhaps you find that, you're really good in being rational, making decisions when you're in a lot of trouble. Which doesn't mean that you should always be in a lot of trouble, but it means that you have that capacity. And what does that say about you? And what do you extract from those situations? So apply this on all practical situations in life, but also the magical and spiritual practices. And I kind of keep it vague about magical and spiritual because, you can apply this on everything. It doesn't have to be particularly streaming. Can be. It doesn't have to be. I think our spirituality, our magical practice are our own. And I think we should shape our own. And we can take inspiration from other people. But when it comes to inspiration and feedback, I think it's very important that we first know who we are. Because you know what? If you hear feedback and you don't know who you are, what you want, then you're going to take the entire feedback. And that doesn't have anything to do with you, but with the other person. So I think that's really relevant. Who are you? And when you know that, and for example, what does that mean? Who are you? It's like a big question. I mean, practically, how does it work for you? When do you feel calm? When do you get nervous? Just detect when that happens. Like, what kind of situation? What do you need to feel good? Like, once upon a time, I gave a presentation. I had to give a presentation. And I get really nervous from presentations because people are staring at me, which makes me nervous. It makes me self-aware. So I did something I didn't do before. I asked myself, what do I need in order to speak in front of these people? And what I needed was to divide them in groups and to give them a task and to walk in between the groups to see how they were doing. And it was an amazing presentation. It was an amazing workshop. And that really taught me something. Like, I could have forced myself to deal with people staring at me and being awkward. Or, I took it to a place where it was comfortable for me. And I think that is a really good tip for anybody in any situation. What works for you? There's no judgment there. It's not like, oh, it's wrong, it's right, it should be this way, it should be that way. It really is about what works for you. Detect it. And then you can take feedback from people and inspiration from people, knowing who you are. So it will be something that you decide, you know what, this feedback, that really works, actually. But the other part, no, it doesn't fit my practice. And I think that's really healthy. Yeah, that's a really healthy way of looking at things in any kind of practice. So you can shape your own spiritual practice, your own magical practice, your own business, whatever it is you want to do, and still be open to what other people have to say, but without just allowing them to take over the car because you're driving. And maybe what works for someone else doesn't work that way for you, and it's good to know that. So I was just thinking about that today, and you know, personal strength is like really important, is to realize how powerful you are. Because I actually think that we live in a society today where our personal strength is very often questioned and attacked. We are very often told we need a degree, we need 2 degrees, we need to be experts, you know, like we need to have like been places in order to say something about it. We need to belong to a certain group of people in order to have a right to speak about issues that are relevant to everybody. And I think in that context, it's really important that we understand that we matter and that we have a personal strength and that we always have a right to speak about whatever, you know, draws us. Whatever makes us like, whatever draws our attention, really. And we're all human beings. We all live in this world. And it's really important to realize our importance. You know, I think maybe I detect sometimes like this sort of fear that we as people are going to be like really arrogant and think we're so important. But I met more people and I experienced myself much more feeling really small and feeling really sort of like, you know, like nothing you do really matters. And people say things like, yeah, what can I do? I'm just one person. Or, you know, like, what does it matter? And it does matter. It really does. I think that there needs to be more an emphasis on, you know, what we do, whatever that is, that matters. Oh gosh, I really hope the sound is going to be good, because there's a lot of wind and I know how that sounds on camera. But I'm just getting to like the important stuff right now. Well, in a sense, let me try to turn.